Hello the internet! It is Saturday the 3rd of April 2021 and welcome back to the channel. Now we all know you can't buy alcohol on Good Friday, the Friday of Easter. We all know this. But what I don't actually know is why, or where, or how, or exactly why. So the idea of this stream is to dissect that, get the opinions from the chit chat, and work out exactly why this is the case. Now, it should be said, of course, it's religion. We know that. It's based on the Bible, right? This is where it comes from. But I was thinking about this a lot yesterday, being that yesterday was Good Friday, and I came up with a few different questions that I want to pitch. And you might think they're silly. You might say, dude, why are you asking those kind of questions? But I think they're valid. So bear with me, we will get into it. I want to say hello to the chit chat. First of all, I broke the silence with hello the internet. Adrian Z. Hello Adrian, how you doing, man? This cheers is for you. Just a water, not an alcoholic beverage. Although I could have one though, it's Easter Saturday. Adrian says hi. Hello Adrian. Pertsky, buying alcohol on Good Friday? What are you, some sort of Satanist? Hello Pertsky, how you doing? He has the word beer in his handle. What kind of a madman are you? And yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Just because you want to get alcohol on Good Friday, does that make you a Satanist? Yeah, I'm going to touch on that. I'm definitely going to touch on that. I feel another ACMA report. A current affair? No, that's not ACMA. What is ACMA? I don't know what ACMA means, but go ahead, report me. Report me for being a Satanist. Satanist? A satanist. One of those guys. Good evening, Adrian. Adrian says, good evening, Pertsky. Pertsky, afternoon. Good afternoon for me. Sup, Ben on there. Pertsky, Adrian, happy Good Friday. Pertsky, you can in Berlin. I just bought a 6-pack of Budvar. So, I want to address this. So it's not a global thing, right? It's not a global thing. So therefore, it can't really be a religious thing if it's not global. Or are you telling me there's multiple religions across the planet? Shit. M-Tag on. This is just being broadcast to YouTube. This is an exclusive YouTube stream only, not going anywhere else. Hello, YouTube. Hello. We're just doing a YouTube stream. Adrian, Adrian's in Switzerland. Ah, very nice. Very nice. What part of Switzerland are you in? Adrian Z, not Adrian Z, Adrian Z. Gotcha. So, this is the chit-chat here, in case we want to follow along. Australian Communications and Media Authority, ACMA. All right, okay. Go ahead, report me. So, okay. Let's just get straight into the guts of this. It's obviously from the Bible times, right? Obviously. So, is the idea that you do not consume alcohol on Good Friday, or is the idea that you cannot purchase alcohol on Good Friday? Because on the one hand of that equation, you've got people such as myself and many Australians that stock up on the Thursday. If you haven't got any booze in your house and you know you're going to have crew over for the Easter weekend, you will stock up earlier in the week. Typically, the last chance is Thursday, right? So that you can booze up on Friday. So I'm literally asking, is the rule, or is the religion, is the historical sanctament to not consume alcohol, or is it not to buy alcohol? Because here's the thing, if it's to not buy alcohol, then theoretically you could go somewhere where they give it away. Now, nobody gives away booze, right? It's a business. You're not going to go to a pub and they say free drinks. That's never going to happen. But you could go to somebody's house and they could give you. So somebody, and I'm not suggesting I do this, but somebody could set up a business where they buy alcohol in bulk and then they give it to you on Good Friday, even though you've already paid them. You see what I'm saying? It's a Christian rule. Yeah. I believe it's from religious Christian times. Adrian says, I'm not sure if I can buy alcohol today or tonight. So for you, see, it's already Easter Saturday for me, but for Adrian in Switzerland. Hey Siri, what time is it in Switzerland?
It's 23:55 in Bern, Switzerland.
In Bern, it's 23:55. So you've got You've got 5 minutes to not buy more. Well, everything will be shut by now, but Pertsky, I'm not aware of alcohol fasting in Protestant or Catholic faiths, but I think Orthodox do it. Right. So it's the Christian belief that give it to me. Give me the hard word. Is it that you cannot buy, or is it that you cannot consume? Because I feel like the message has gotten mixed. Like, if the idea is Good Friday is a place where, because let's be clear, not all of it would have been purchased alcohol back in the day. They would have had vendors that would have been giving it out. Drink the wine, come into our city walls and drink from our wine. So not everybody would have been selling it. So is it that you can't consume it, or is it that you can't buy it? And if you can't buy it, are you missing the point by buying it the day before and drinking it on the Friday? Are you missing the point? Are you breaking that rule, if you like? I don't think it's a Christian rule. Oh, okay. I'm not in Switzerland, I'm in Canada. My goodness gracious me, that's a Canadian flag. I mean, I've got 45-year-old eyes. I can see that's a Canadian flag right now. I don't know why I thought it was Swiss before. I beg your apologies, Adrian Z. I can see that's Canadian very clearly. Thank you for letting me know. I do have this eye that's bugging me right now. I did a sleep stream on April Fool's Day for D-Live, and I've had a buggy eye since then. I'm not lying. Ever since I did that sleep stream, my eye's been messed up. So I apologize. Not Switzerland, Canada. It's an anti-bogan pisshead measure. So it's not global. I mean, I got 2 videos to look at here. I've got an Australian one, and the title of that it's from Sunrise, so take that as you will, but the title is What's Open This Good Friday? So, and the other one is from the UK. What do people think of Good Friday alcohol ban? So that sounds to me like it's a flat out ban on alcohol, not the purchasing, a flat out ban on the consumption of alcohol. But we'll look into that. They're only short videos, but 3 p.m., 6 hours till 9 p.m. They close earlier because of COVID, right? So nothing to do with Good Friday, nothing to do with Easter. What part of Canada you're in, Adrian? What part of Canada land? Switzerland. What part of Switzerland are you in? That's a combination of Canada and Switzerland. So from the deductions we've made at this particular point, we're only 12 minutes into this stream. We've decided or deduced that it's not a religious thing, it's an Australian thing. But that doesn't make any sense because it's got UK there. I noticed tonight all the shops had their signage lights off. They do that on Good Friday and Christmas even here. So shops with the lights out, well, it's less dangerous at that point with the lights out. So I'm curious if you cannot buy alcohol on Good Friday because it's against Christian faith, then is that possible that someone can give you alcohol? Could you do because there's the point where it's not just alcohol that you can't buy on Good Friday. All the stores are closed on Good Friday. Everything's shut. Nothing's open on Good Friday. So how did this become intermorphed with alcohol? Like, I understand the concept of a religious holiday. I understand that concept. I understand the idea that nobody works, nobody does anything. But why is alcohol so tied into that? What is the connection with booze and having a day off? Like, theoretically, the time off when nobody's working is the time when you'd want to unwind. And heaven forbid, if a little bit of booze or if a lot of booze was your tipple, why can't you do that on the day that you've been told this is a religious sanctimonial holiday? You've got to take time away from your regular day-to-day grind. That means nobody's working. Doesn't matter what industry, nobody's working. Spend time with your family, acknowledge the celebration that the faith is, and kick back. And that's when you'd crack open a drink, right? Because you don't have to go to work. So I genuinely don't understand how the alcohol tied into it. And the further you go into current day history, certain things are open now. Like, there are stores that are open from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. so you can go and get the essentials. But obviously, in that group of essentials, alcohol's completely banned. So we've gone from nobody work, nobody drink, to, okay, well, some of you can work for a few hours because we've got to have functionality of society. So you can open up that petrol station, that gas station, and you can open up that, I don't know, laundromat, but you definitely can't be serving any alcohol. So how have we relaxed this? And is that okay to relax those rules? Is the faith still okay because the rule is kind of being acknowledged, or is it not okay to bend those rules? And if it's okay to bend them to open up those stores for a few hours in the morning, why can't you open up the liquor store? What? I just don't get the big deal. What's the big deal with the liquor thing? That's what I don't get. I'm on the West Coast, British Columbia. Have nothing to do with the UK or Colombia. I know. Well, it is a Canada is governed by our lovely Queen. So we're in the monarchy like yourself. The most West Canadian province, right on the 49th parallel, an hour from Victoria, BC. An hour to the west. So are you on? So you on like you're on Vancouver Island then, right? You'd be on one of the islands. In Australia, it goes back to colonial law and order. Is that right? So it's not a religious thing. I didn't think it was religious. I did not think it was religious. Now, I guess we're getting confirmation it's not religious. It's a colonial. Heaven forbid the early settlers didn't want to have a few relaxing ales on Good Friday. It's probably a law heavily influenced by religion versus crime, but that's my best guess. You're probably right. Let's take a look at these videos. This is the first one from Australia. This is from a pretty tacky current affairs program called Sunrise. Let's see what they got to say.
It's the start of the 4-day Easter long weekend, and this morning we have your guide to what's open and what's closed this Good Friday. In New South Wales, all Coles and Woolworths stores are shut. Big department stores and liquor shops are also closed. Seafood shops, patisseries, fruit and veg shops, chemists and nurseries, however, can open.
See, this makes no sense to me. This makes absolutely no sense. All supermarkets, all department stores, all liquor stores, they're all closed. But fish, if you wanted to go and buy fish, right? If you're a flexitarian and you eat fish, you can go and get fish. You can get small goods, like small items of food and whatnot. If you need to go and get drugs from the chemist, that's open. If you wanted to go and buy plants, like gardening equipment, you can go to a nursery, they're open. That's the wrong button. Look, nurseries, chemists, small food shops, fish shops, they're all... Does that make any sense to you at all? Is there any rhyme or reason to why those stores will be open? Fish shops, small food items, drugs, and gardening. I don't get it. I don't get that. And you might say, don't be a dickhead, man. I'm not being a dickhead. I'm genuinely curious how we got to this point where certain things are okay and other things are not okay. It makes no sense to me. You're on Vancouver Island. I'm an hour north of Victoria. We're sort of, right? Okay. It's called Duncan, aka the Cowinchin Valley. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. There's a place called Duncan. So Pertsky says it's tradition to eat fish on Good Friday, but that's religious, right? That's a religious thing. That's going back to the Bible, right? The fish for everybody. But isn't that the same time as the water into wine thing? So if the fish is good, what happened to the wine? Therefore, the liquor store. How come the liquor store's closed, but they can get the fish? Wasn't that what it was? They turned... Oh, no, that was bread for everybody, wasn't it? Broke bread and gave it to everybody. It's tradition to eat fish on Good Friday. What if you're miles and miles and miles from the coast? What if you're in the center of Australia? What kind of a tradition is that what kind of a tradition is it for those that live in Alice Springs? You got to eat fish on Good Friday. You know how expensive that would be to get fish from either West or East Coast fresh fish into Alice Springs? Dude. Cowinchin is a word for the First Nations. Okay. You got to buy the wine on Thursday in Oz. But why? Why? That's what I don't get. Why is it so bad to be able to buy it on the Friday? There's no sense to this. Either you're not allowed to touch it, it's forbidden on that day. It shouldn't matter when you buy it. the rule or the religious sentiment should be, on that day we do not consume alcohol. We put no alcohol in our body on that day. We can eat our fish. We can get small. We can imbibe small food items. We can take drugs. Well, arguably that's liquor, but anyway, you do get liquor from the drugstore in America. That's a fact. And you can also go and do your gardening, which is kind of strange, but what I'm suggesting here is, have we gone so far in time, like so far away from when these rules were conceived, to the point where it literally makes no sense? There's no rhyme or reason to it anymore. It might have had good rhyme and good reason back when it started, but fast forward to 2021, it seems like it's a little argy-bargy, right? A little up and down, a little bit ill thought out. They have a lot of rules, right? Orthodox spend a couple of months each year at various times fasting from meat and alcohol and dairy. So again, fasting, to me, the term fasting doesn't even come close to mentioning buying. Because if you're let's just say this. Let's say you're on a month fast from pick a food, pick an item, pineapple. Okay, heaven forbid, like you might say, that's stupid. Why would you say pineapple? I'm just picking a random food. We got fish and we got liquor here. Let's add pineapple to the equation. So for the month of March, you're fasting from pineapple. No pineapple. It's against our religion of the twitchy upper eyelid crew. I've got one this morning, a little twitch in my eyelid. That's the religion, the twitchy upper eyelid crew. And they declared back in 0003, the third year of the universe, they declared that throughout the month of April, you are not allowed to eat pineapple because it comes from the pineapple tree grew next to a big rock. The rock was the shape of Beelzebub, and there was a dark cloud behind it for that whole month. And therefore, we've decided in our own ingenious manner that month of April, no pineapple, no giving praise to the big grey cloud behind that big Beelzebub rock. We're done with that. From now on, no more pineapple. So, I'm being stupid, right? But here's the thing. Does that mean that just because you're fasting from pineapple, you can't go and get pineapple in preparation for May? Because when it comes to May 1 and the pineapple festivals abound and everybody's throwing pineapples in the air and running around with pineapple dresses, that's the point when you need pineapple. So if you can't buy the pineapple because you're fasting, you're either fasting, not consuming, or you're not allowed to buy. Here, you're not allowed to buy stuff. You're not allowed to buy stuff, but you can consume it. This is where I get the confusion. Either you're not allowed to consume it, or you're not allowed to buy it. If you're allowed to buy it, you're allowed to consume it. If you own it, can you consume it? You see what I'm saying? What I'm suggesting is religion's a little confusing.
Restaurants, cafes and takeaway shops are open across New South Wales. Clubs are open too.
Restaurants, cafes, takeaway shops, these are open. Clubs are open, so you can enjoy an alcoholic beverage in a venue. Now I'm even more confused. Hotels and small bars open from midday. After a certain time frame, you can go and tank yourself up at a bar.
And hotels and small bars open from midday, with some only able to serve alcohol with food. In Victoria, Coles and Woolworths are shut, department stores are closed, as are liquor stores, but some pubs, restaurants and cafes will be open, and most of them can serve alcohol from midday.
I mean, what? So I say remove this. I say you're agnostic, Podsky, but I don't really feel motivated to call for change. I'm not really concerned about change at all. I'm just genuinely, like, I like having these discussions. I like digging in and finding out the whys and the hows and the what and the whos. This makes no sense to me. And you can clearly see this, right? This makes no sense. Yeah, it was in the house. Red wine, the blood of Christ. That dude must have been pissed all the time. How you doing, man? I mean, but that's not... Is that where this is going, though? How you doing, man? Is that where this goes to? The drinking the blood and breaking the bread and all that stuff? Because now you can... Well, here you can clearly see that if you were in Victoria, you can go and get a drink at a pub. But why can't you... If you can go to a pub and get twisted, why can't you go and get takeaway from or to go from a liquor store? I don't know.
In Queensland, all Coles stores are closed, all Woolworths are closed except for Brisbane Airport. Licensed venues like restaurants, pubs and bars can open.
So why would the airport be open? You can only go to a supermarket if you're also travelling?
But alcohol can only be served with a meal. Bakeries, cafes and fish shops can open, but it's best to check before making the trip. While Greater Brisbane is out of lockdown, some restrictions are in place. You must be seated in pubs across the state, and there's no dancing allowed at public venues.
I mean, look, I'm not having a go with COVID now or anything, but I feel like that's going to be a joke that'll come back to haunt us later on in life. Remember when you couldn't dance inside the venue? What constituted a dance though? Like if you get up and start sort of, you go into the bar and then on comes Beat It by Michael Jackson and you start to sort of, oh shit, I almost went into a bit of a dance there. You're out. Yeah, I know this is different now. This is COVID style.
Household gatherings are capped at 30 people and businesses must abide by the 1 person per 2 square metre rule. In South Australia, all Coles are closed except Mount Barker and Victor Harbour. Woolworths stores.
How do they decide which ones are open and which ones aren't? Like, who literally... Again, I'm going to say it again. Why is this rule here if it's not across the board? Why are we looking at certain areas that are open and certain areas that aren't open? That is completely idiotic. If there was a reason for this, Victor Harbour is closed... Victor Harbour and Mount Barker remain open because they are in the 27th electoral state and they have made multiple donations to certain religious sectors and therefore they're okay to go about their normal business. We're never going to understand why. Like, I'm never going to understand why Mount Barker and Victor Harbour are open. Stroke of luck, I used to live in Aldgate. Mount Barker wasn't far. If I really needed something, I could go to Coles at Mount Barker. Very, very strange, folks. Very strange.
They're closed except Mount Barker, Murray Bridge, Marketplace and Victor Harbour. Cafes, restaurants, takeaway food and fish shops are allowed to open today, but it's best to check online first. Bars and pubs can open on Good Friday, but gaming machines aren't allowed to operate.
No gambling. I mean, arguably that should be all the time, but no slot machines? No. On Good Friday. Pertsky says, I like the idea of long weekends for loved ones to spend time with each other. Yeah, nobody's denying that. I don't think it's a bad thing to shut down retail for a few weekends a year. I'm not suggesting it's a bad idea. What I am suggesting is it needs to be across the board and it needs to be clear why. Why are we doing this? No, we're all chatting about it, but do any of us know why this is happening? Like, why is this how have we got to the point where this is a thing where we all go, oh yeah, you can get fish on Good Friday and you can go to a pub and get beer, but you can't go to a takeaway and get it. I can go and get you a 6-pack from that bottle shop, that pub, because it's got a bottle shop attached to the bar, but I can't get you one from that venue because that's just a bottle shop. You see what I'm saying? Like it literally makes no sense. And the biggest source of confusion is when I've seen this in the past, because this has been the way for a long, I'm 45, right? This has been the way for a long time in Australia, as long as I can remember. It always became apparent when there were travelers that I knew, like backpackers that were in the country around Easter time. They were confused about this. They were like, "What do you mean? I've got to take a train to Petersham because there's a pub there that has a little window at the end of literally the end of the bar, and they can serve alcohol through that window, and that's the only place I can get it on Good Friday. But I can't go to my regular in Bondi Junction because they don't have that window. They don't have the, and of course it's all about licenses, right? Whether they can sell across the bar or not. But those guys are okay to do that on Good Friday, but the one at Bondi can't. People were genuinely like, "What is that? What? How?" And then it's just like, I don't know. I still don't know. Doing it for Jesus. Adrian, I've Googled it, but it looks like all liquor stores near me are open until 10 p.m. And there you go. That's Canada. All liquor stores open until 10 p.m. Fish shops near me stock booze in their fridges. Right, to make that even more confusing. So the fish shop is open, but you can buy... Suddenly they've got a license to sell booze that day. And again, the question I've got is it the rule that you're not meant to imbibe the alcohol, you're not meant to consume it, or you're not meant to buy it? Because you could be giving it away as well for a donation. Donate to the Was From Oz fish store, and if you donate $7, I'll give you... No, if you donate $14, I'll give you these little 6 beers. I'll give them to you. They'll be in a little carry case as well, a little cardboard carry case. You just bought beers. No, I donated. I donated to the fish store. It must be the Aussie government. Yeah, it has to be, right? Jimmy Brings, the menu log of booze, didn't deliver orders on Good Friday. I wonder why that is. Are they obliged to obey these rules?
In Western Australia, all Coles stores are shut, except for a few in the southwest. Woolworths are closed too, except Busselton, Eaton and Margaret River. All retail and department stores are closed. Bakeries, fish shops and cafes can open today. Liquor stores are closed. Restaurants, bars and pubs can open, but a meal must be served with alcohol. And all Bunnings stores nationwide...
As a weird one, but that's a law that most venues have to abide by. You can't... Well, actually, no, not true. Not true. So if you do want to drink in a bar, you've got to buy a meal. I'll get a packet of Tic Tacs. I'm not very hungry. You see what I'm saying? A little bit dubious.
...are shut today, so you'll have to tackle your DIY projects tomorrow.
So you can go to a nursery. By the way, that was a big... loud swoosh. You can go to a nursery, but you can't go to a Bunnings. Now, Bunnings arguably is the nursery of all nurseries in Australia. Like, it's the one shop where you get everything. All the planting, all the gardening, all that crap is all at the one place called Bunnings Warehouse. So you can go to a smaller nursery chain like Mum and Pa store, but you can't go to a Bunnings. Since New Year's Eve, it's been impossible to buy alcohol after 11 p.m. in Germany. Also forbidden to drink in public until the end of Corona. You let that sink in, Australians. Until the end of Corona, you can't drink in the streets. So after then, you can just go and take a drink in the street. Yeah. That's Germany, right? Calm down. Imagine walking up the main street of Sydney drinking a beer. You'd be arrested, dude. So Perdsky, just settle down until the end of Corona, and then you can crack a Corona and walk up the street, and you'll be happy. I mean, so we've got this other video here. This is from the UK. Now, this actually came out a few years ago, 2016. What do people think of the Good Friday alcohol ban? Now, it looks like maybe... So here, there's a little description here. A law dating back to 1927 prevents pubs from opening and offies, off licenses, takeaway alcohol joints, liquor stores, from selling alcohol on Good Friday, creating a rush to buy booze on Holy Thursday. Holy Thursday, Batman. Let me read that again. A law dating back to 1927, so not that long ago. Not a religious law, a law dating back to 1927 prevents pubs from opening and offies from selling alcohol on Good Friday, creating a rush to buy drinks on Holy Thursday. We took to the streets just as off licenses were closing to get the public's view of the alcohol ban. Let's take a look at this.
No need for it. It's ridiculous.
I actually think it's bullshit. Like, it doesn't really make sense.
I think that it's very bizarre that we still continue this archaic tradition.
Yeah, we got a few drinks in for tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's just because it's the weekend anyway. We were just preparing in advance, not crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I just figured, tomorrow to have some wine with dinner, but that's about it.
I bought 6 beers, but that was basically it. No, I'm not that heavy of a drinker.
A lot of people are off, and they should be allowed to go out and enjoy themselves and do what they would normally do on a bank holiday or a public holiday.
Yeah. I don't understand why religion will influence a country's laws.
Yeah.
It's not really, I suppose, practical anymore.
The only reason people drink on Good Friday is because they're not allowed. Whereas if they were allowed, it would just be another day. It's the fact that they're not allowed that becomes this big drinking day.
Not all people are like religious or have the same beliefs, and so it doesn't really make sense to me.
I think actually Good Friday brings people together, and there's a love of drink that unites all Irish people and English people, and really anyone else.
I think it's in some ways archaic, in other ways it's an interesting novelty, so it can bring people together because you don't go out to the pub, you go to friends' houses, you socialise with your friends, brings you sort of friends together.
But realistically, it's Friday night and we've all worked a really long day and it's ridiculous we can't get a pint at the end of it.
Can't get a pint at the end of it. It's a fair point, right? It's a fair point. So that's over in Ireland. I thought that was the UK, well, United Kingdom. But at that particular point, they're just echoing my sentiments. It's an archaic, old. That's not even a religious one, right? That's just a law from 1927. I feel like we've learned a lot here. We've put ourselves into this position, and we've discovered that it seems like it's very localized to certain areas. There's no real rhyme or reason to why it exists. There's no rhyme or reason to which stores it affects. Yeah, if you weren't from Australia and Podsky and Adrian, you both aren't. When we watched that first video and there were locations, those locations mean nothing to you, right? When you saw that Mount Barker and Victor Harbour were open, that to you would just be like two different locations. Why would they be open? Well, I know where those locations are. One of them's coastal, one of them's inland. I know that they're not city areas, so therefore the idea could be that, well, we don't want to isolate the people that are already isolated even further by closing down their main stores on that day. I kind of understand that point, but it does not fit into the whole picture. It's nonsense, right? It's complete nonsense. I'm already tanked. No worries, Bertsky. Adrian, Holy Thursday. I've never heard that term before. Holy Thursday. Holy Thursday. Could you imagine you wake up and you, Holy Thursday? I was at my nephew's 21st on the weekend ordering drinks for people at the bar. The barkeeper would not let an underage girl order a lemon lime bitters. I was stunned. Is that because the bitters does have a fraction of alcohol in it? Is it like a smattering of alcohol in that? Is it like 0.03% or something? Was that his argument, or he just didn't want her at the bar ordering? I mean, there are laws in this country, as you know. You can't be in a bar with a child unless there's a certain area dedicated to food, and there's got to be distance-wise between the bar and the tables and all that crap. There's all these weird laws. It's such a tiny amount of alcohol in the bitters, apparently. I told the barkeeper it was dumb. A kid can go order one from the servo, for fuck's sake. I mean, yeah. Arguably, the ones that you get in the servo wouldn't have any alcohol in them, though. But I know what you mean. And lemon lime bitters, it's a gateway. It's a gateway alcoholic beverage. I thought in Australia a child can't approach the bar at all. No, there are certain venues where children can order from the bar. They can't order booze, of course, but they can order hot chips and snacks and food and whatnot, and Coke, pop if they wanted to. Yeah, interesting, very interesting. I got to tell you, from this live stream, I've learned a little. I wouldn't suggest I've learned much. Come this time next year, Easter time, I don't think I'll be any smarter or any wiser. But I'll understand that it's not a religious thing. Certainly not Ireland. 1927, the law came in, so that's pretty recent times. I feel like in the future, we'll be past this. I feel like not long from now, this won't be a thing. I think this will change, right? More and more people will make the question, and not like we're going to stand up against it, because it's not a big deal, but it is a confusing thing. And if we don't ask the questions, we never get the answers. That's how I feel. All those retail stores are closed. I was at a bistro at a lawn bowling club. Well, there you go. Normally those places are fine for a child to go to the bar and pick up the food or whatever it is. At lawn bowling, you might want to explain what that is. Lawn bowls. That's an Australian thing, isn't it? Lawn bowls. Lawn bowls. Did it ever get played on someone's front lawn? Is that where that comes from? It's like a cricket pitch, isn't it? The whole thing is it's one almighty fat, long cricket pitch. Lawn, but they call it a lawn. It's not lawn, is it? It's not grass. It's synthetic. It's turf. It's synthetic. It's that green turf stuff. No. It is grass. Wait a sec. on a golf course, the hole, the putting area, that's grass, right? That's not lawn or synthetic turf. They just mow it really fine, don't they? That's normally grass. Or is it grass up until that point and then it becomes that AstroTurf stuff? Lawn bowls. Yeah, I mean, I'm just thankful that my friend brought me a bottle of Jack the day before Good Friday. On Holy Thursday, I got a bottle of Jack here. I'm not going to drink from it now because it's morning time, but I had some last night on the stream, and I'm definitely having some more. Oh, dude, that smells really charcoaly. That smells rad. Yeah, and this was just because I loaned a friend of a friend needed to charge his 1DX. He was down here from Sydney doing a Airbnb real estate shoot, and he didn't bring his charger, and he got halfway through the shoot of day one, and his battery was flat, and he's like, "Oh, anybody know anybody down here that uses a 1DX?" And my friend D Kramer said, "Oh, I got it, mate." And he rang me up, and I said, "Yeah, no worries." So this guy turns up, borrows my 1DX battery and charger. He also broke his tripod. So he said, "Oh, can I borrow your tripod too?" "No worries, man." Then he said, "Oh, what do you drink?" I'm like, "Oh, Jack Daniels normally." He's like, "Done." And I was like, "No, you don't have to do anything like that, man. Don't worry, just take the stuff. It's all good. I understand. Don't worry." He goes, "No." He came back, bottle of Jack. I was like, "Thank you, man." Try finding a sober pensioner at lawn bowls. Yeah, they get tanked for super cheap too. Hey, it's like super cheap alcohol there. Well, folks, Pertsky, and Adrian, it's just been you three in the chat. I appreciate the tightness of this community, the knitness, the tight knit. This has been fun. I quite like a small little chat like this, just the three of us chatting. This has been a little tight little stream. Appreciate you all being here. Go ahead and enjoy the rest of your Good Friday. If if you happen to have any booze on you, enjoy it. And I'll see you on D Live later on tonight. Cheers, it's Good Friday. Drink some water.